Hola Culers. Welcome back to the channel, your ultimate source for all things Blaugrana, where the passion for FC Barcelona runs deeper than the Camp Nou grass. I'm your host, and as you know, I bleed Blaugrana, so you can bet your last euro that we're diving headfirst into all the latest and greatest news from the greatest club in the world. From thrilling El Clasico victories that still have us buzzing, to crucial tactical insights, exciting transfer updates, and glimpses into the future of our incredible academy, La Masia, we've got a packed show for you today. The energy around the club right now is absolutely electric, especially after some truly unforgettable moments against them. We're talking about a blend of fantastic performances, strategic moves behind the scenes, and the continuous development of our prodigious talents. Grab your favorite Barca jersey, get comfortable, because we're about to dissect everything that's been happening in our beloved FC Barcelona universe. Whether it's a jaw-dropping goal, a brilliant tactical masterclass from Hansi Flick, or the exciting prospect of a new young talent joining our ranks, you know we're going to celebrate every victory and analyze every challenge with the unwavering spirit of a cooler. Let's not waste another second, because there's so much to unpack, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of this deep dive into the heart of Barca. Alright Culers, let's kick things off with what's still got me on cloud 9, that absolutely breathtaking Spanish Super Cup final against Real Madrid. What a game, what a spectacle in Jeddah. Both teams came out firing, determined to lift that first trophy of the year, but in the end, it was our beloved Barca who emerged victorious with a hard-fought 3-2 win. Now, let's talk about the ratings, because boy, were there some standout performances. Starting with our man, Raphinha, who literally tore it up. A perfect 10, folks, a perfect 10. Another Clasico, another brace for the Brazilian magician. He opened the scoring with a stunning golazo that left Courtois helpless, then sealed it in the 70th minute with a wild strike that just had to go in. He worked tirelessly, led from the front, and was simply unplayable. Easily our best player on the field, and by some distance. Then there's Lamine Yamal, getting an 8.5, the kid started a bit quietly, but once Raphinha opened the scoring, he just exploded. Taking on defenders with confidence, creating clear-cut chances, this boy is pure gold, a future legend in the making. Robert Lewandowski, an 8 for his crucial goal late in the first half, putting us ahead temporarily. He's always there, always contributing with his movements. Pedri also shone with an 8, playing in a more advanced role, everywhere on the field. That assist for Lewandowski's goal was pure class, a pass between centre-backs that only he can see and execute. Frenkie de Jong, a 7.5, held things together in midfield, great ball retention, though maybe slowed down progression a bit. Eric Garcia, our best defender on the night, an 8. Enormous blocks, constantly progressing our build-up, truly immense, especially in the second half when Madrid turned up the heat. Joan Garcia and Alejandro Balde both got 7s, solid but not spectacular. Now for the tough ones. Portuguese got a 6.5, a learning curve for him on Vinicius's first goal, going down a bit too easily. And Jules Koundé. Oh Koundé, a 6. He really struggled against Vinicius Jr. The Brazilian seemed to have a head start every time, and Koundé was dribbled past far too easily, especially for that late first half equalizer. A performance he'll want to forget, but hey, we still won. What a roller coaster of a match, with Vinicius, Lewandowski, and Gonzalo Garcia all scoring within minutes at the end of the first half. But our determination, Raphinha's brilliance, and Hansi Flick's tactical nous saw us through. Visca el Barça. Before we basked in the glory of victory, there was that nail-biting anticipation, wasn't there? Just an hour before kickoff, Hansi Flick announced his starting 11 for the Spanish Super Cup final against Real Madrid, and let me tell you, there weren't too many surprises, which for a big game like this, can actually be a good thing. It means consistency and trust in the squad. Our young El Clasico debutant, Joan Garcia, started in goal, which shows Flick's faith in the future. The defensive line was solid, Jules Koundé, Portuguese, Eric Garcia, and Alejandro Balde. Now, the big decision here, and one that really paid off, was starting Eric Garcia in defense. This put Gerard Martin out of the 11, but Eric was immense, as we discussed in the player ratings. Flick clearly saw something in him for this specific matchup, and it worked wonders. In midfield, our double pivot saw Frenkie de Jong alongside the maestro Pedri, with Marc Casado as backup. This combination brings both control and creativity, a perfect balance for dominating the midfield against a team like Real Madrid. And up front, the biggest dilemma for Flick, according to reports, was between Robert Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. He went with Lewandowski, and what a decision that was, with the pole getting on the scoresheet. This was a glorious opportunity for Lewandowski to prove himself in a big final, and he certainly delivered. Our attacking wide men were the usual suspects, the dynamic duo of Lamine Yamal and Raphinha. We all know what these two can do, and they delivered in spades. But in the attacking midfield role, Flick opted for Fermin Lopez ahead of the informed Dani Olmo. While Olmo is a fantastic player, Fermin brings a different kind of energy and pressing ability, and it wasn't a surprise to see Olmo playing a key role in the second half. It just goes to show the depth and quality we have in this squad. Flick's selections were spot on, a blend of experience and youthful exuberance, perfectly poised to take on Los Blancos. It was a lineup built for dominance, for pressing, and for winning, and win we did. The anticipation was almost unbearable, but seeing this lineup, you just knew Hansi meant business. What a brilliant tactical setup from our coach. Now, before the game even started, there was a major piece of news that sent a wave of relief and confidence through the Culers faithful, a big boost for Barcelona heading into the Super Cup final. Our archrivals, Real Madrid, were reportedly unable to field their star player, none other than Kylian Mbappe, in the starting 11. According to RMC Sport, the French superstar wasn't fit enough to start and would only be able to play about 30 minutes from the bench. This was massive, absolutely massive. Remember, Madrid had been pinning their hopes on Mbappe recovering in time, especially after fielding Gonzalo Garcia in the number 9 role in the semi-final. But news confirmed he was far from fully fit and wouldn't be at his level best even if he did come on. Now, as much as we love to see our team win, and when they did, facing Madrid without Mbappe's explosive pace and clinical finishing is undeniably a huge advantage. We've struggled to contain him in the past, so his absence from the starting lineup fundamentally altered the dynamic of the game. Xabi Alonso, bless his heart, reportedly had no desire to risk the Frenchman, even though Mbappe himself apparently wanted to play. Alonso prioritized his long-term fitness, which meant Gonzalo Garcia would once again start at number 9, flanked by the dangerous Brazilian duo of Rodrygo and Vinicius Jr. While those two are certainly threats, especially Vinicius who loves scoring in finals, not having Mbappe's full power from the start was a massive psychological and tactical win for us. It allowed our defenders to focus their efforts, to not be constantly terrified of that blistering pace over the top from the first whistle. This news, filtering through before kickoff, just added to the belief that this was our night, that we had a real chance to dominate and secure the trophy. Every little bit helps in an El Clasico, and this was far from a little bit, this was a giant boost. Let's shift gears from immediate glory to long-term vision, because that's what a club like Barcelona is all about. It's no secret that our right-back situation has been interesting, to say the least. Both Jules Koundé and Eric Garcia, while excelling on the flank, aren't natural right-backs, having transitioned from central defense. This works for now, but our sporting director Deco, ever the visionary, is already looking ahead, keeping a keen eye on the world's most talented young right-backs for a long-term solution. And guess who's on his radar? A prodigious talent from Portugal, Daniel Banjaqui. Mundo Deportivo reports that we are very attentive to this 17-year-old gem, considered the best young right-back in Portugal. 17, Culers. He's already won the U17 Euros and World Cup with his national team, which tells you everything you need to know about his caliber. This kid is seen as one of the brightest young talents in his position globally. He currently plays for Benfica, but a big money move seems inevitable soon. The best part? Barcelona has already contacted his entourage to convey our interest. While no concrete move has happened yet, the groundwork is being laid. With Banjaqui turning 18 in a few months, Benfica is desperately trying to tie him down with a new contract, but he's reportedly resisting. This opens the door for us. The pressure of jumping to an elite league at 18 is immense, but with his talent, it's a chance worth taking. Plus, the beauty of our system is that he could be integrated into Barça Athletic first, allowing him to adapt slowly before transitioning to the first team. This is exactly the kind of smart, future-oriented planning we need. Finding a natural, world-class right-back has been a challenge, but if Banjaqui is truly the talent he's hyped up to be, then Deco's proactive approach could secure our right flank for years to come. Imagine a future with La Masia talents and top young prospects like Banjaqui. It's a mouth-watering prospect for any Culer. Oh, the bittersweet symphony of what-ifs and nearly their transfers. For years, Spanish football has been searching for the next Pedri, and for a significant period, all fingers pointed to Alberto Molero. The comparisons were simply unavoidable, both hailing from Tenerife, both overlooked by CD Tenerife, and both exploding onto the scene via the UD Las Palmas Academy. It seemed like destiny, didn't it? Well, a new report from Diario Sport confirms just how close those similarities came to extending beyond their backgrounds. Molero was on the verge of joining FC Barcelona. Our technical secretariat had monitored him closely, identifying him as a talent perfectly aligned with the club's DNA, our famed style of play. The stars seemed aligned for another Canary Islander connection in Catalonia, potentially reuniting with Pedri himself. But alas, the harsh reality of our delicate financial situation intervened, and the deal collapsed before it could be finalized. That's a gut punch, isn't it? Instead of Camp Nou, Molero remained at Las Palmas, eventually moving to Villarreal this season for a substantial €16 million to replace Alex Baena. And what a move it's been for him. While Molero humbly admits that being compared to Pedri is an honor, he insists that within the field, we are different, and he's absolutely right. Pedri is our metronome, controlling tempo and dictating play, but Molero has evolved into a much more offensive threat. Operating largely as a left winger under Marcelino, he's direct, powerful, and lethal near the box. His numbers this season speak for themselves, a stunning 8 goals and 3 assists in just 18 La Liga games. He's driving Villarreal to a historic season and is proving to be one of the best signings in the league. It's a testament to his talent, but also a stark reminder of the gem we regrettably missed out on due to financial constraints. Imagine Molero and Pedri together, 2 Tenerife maestros orchestrating our midfield. It's a dream scenario that almost came true. While we celebrate our current successes, we can't help but wonder what might have been with this incredible talent. Speaking of right-backs and long-term planning, there's a lot of excitement around João Cancelo's return, and rightly so. The Portuguese international has rejoined us on a short-term loan, and he's a fantastic player who gives us immediate quality. But, as Hola Culers, we know that these short-term solutions, while brilliant, often lead to the same depth issues once the loan ends. This is where our sporting director, Deco, truly shines with his foresight. Diario Sport reports that Deco has a comprehensive plan to mitigate the risks of losing Cancelo at the end of the season. While we will, of course, monitor Cancelo's performances closely and decide whether to retain his services permanently, the club is prioritizing internal solutions over constantly relying on the transfer market. And at the heart of this plan is a familiar name, Hector Fort. We have immense hope for young Hector, who is currently on loan at Elche CF. He was showing incredible promise before an unfortunate injury stalled his progress. The belief within the club is that if Fort can continue his development after returning from injury, he could be an absolute prospect for the Blaugrana, potentially eliminating the need to re-enter the transfer market for a right-back next summer. This is where Bojan's role becomes absolutely critical, as he's in charge of monitoring all our loan players and ensuring their development path aligns with the club's needs. Beyond Fort, Barcelona is also keeping a very close eye on other La Masia prodigies like Jofre Torrents. The philosophy is clear: nurture our own talent first. Entering the market for a new fullback next summer is considered a last resort option, only if all our internal options, including Cancelo's potential permanent move and the growth of our young talents, fail to impress Hansi Flick. This approach is not just financially sound, but it also reinforces our commitment to La Masia and developing players who truly understand the Barca DNA. It's a smart, sustainable strategy that gives me so much pride as a Culer. The future of our right flank looks bright, whether it's with Cancelo, Fort, or another gem from La Masia. Now, here's a story that absolutely warms my Culer heart and makes me proud of Deco's shrewdness. We often hear about the big money signings, but sometimes, the real gems are found in smart, calculated gambles. And Deco's €2.5 million bet on Rooney Bargi? Oh, it's paying off beautifully, especially when contrasted with Real Madrid's massive €63 million bet on Franco Mastantuono. Diario has highlighted this perfectly, 2 players heading in completely opposite directions. Bargi, after impressing in pre-season, might not have gotten a ton of minutes due to our packed attacking unit, but boy, has he made the most of his limited opportunities. His numbers are just astounding: 2 goals and 4 assists in a mere 413 minutes. Under Hansi Flick, he's evolving rapidly, with his market value already quadrupling to an estimated €10 million. This kid, born in Kuwait, received a hero's welcome in Saudi Arabia during the Super Cup, and he seized his moment in the semi-final. With Lamine Yamal rested, Bargi dazzled, playing a key role in the opening goal and scoring our third himself, a proper Culer moment. And the ultimate validation? The squad formed a guard of honor for him, not just for Eric Garcia's birthday, but to welcome Rooney Bargi to the first team proper. He's been officially handed the number 19 shirt, moving up from the reserves. This is a dream come true for him, and a testament to his hard work and Deco's vision. Now, let's look at Mastantuono at Real Madrid. After an impressive start, the Argentine has completely fallen out of favor since returning from injury. Xabi Alonso no longer considers him a key component, with Mastantuono featuring in just 14 minutes of league action since his return. Talk about a stark contrast. While securing consistent game time might still be a challenge for Bargi with our incredible attacking depth, Barcelona has a player with immense potential, who is willing to wait and fight for his spot. This isn't just a win on the field, it's a huge strategic and economic victory for Barcelona. Deco's gamble has paid off in spades, proving that sometimes, smart scouting and calculated risks are far more valuable than throwing exorbitant amounts of money around. This is the Barca way, finding and nurturing talent, and Rooney Bargi is living proof of that. Alright, let's rewind a bit to the pre-Clasico psychological warfare and tactical chess. You know El Clasico always has layers, and it's fascinating to hear what the opposition thinks of our players. Defensa Central reported on Xabi Alonso's biggest fear ahead of the Super Cup final, and you won't believe who he singled out as Barcelona's biggest threat. It wasn't Pedri, nor Lamine Yamal, but our very own Raphinha. Alonso reportedly told his dressing room, "For me, Raphinha is the best of them because he gives them many things, goals, assists, and that defensive work that is key." And honestly, as a cooler, I couldn't agree more with Xabi on this one. While we have an embarrassment of riches in attack, Raphinha's impact stretches far beyond just his goals and assists. The man has been in phenomenal form since returning from injury, bagging 5 goals in his last 5 appearances leading up to the final. But it's his unwavering work rate, his relentless pressing, and his leadership on the field that make him truly invaluable. He's like an engine that never stops, constantly harassing defenders, tracking back, and setting the tone for a high press, something that forms the absolute basis of Hansi Flick's project. With him starting, we knew Barcelona wouldn't just dominate possession, but also press high and effectively when out of it. And let's not forget Raphinha's incredible El Clasico record, 5 goals and 3 assists in just 11 games against Los Blancos, with a phenomenal 63% win percentage. The guy is a big game player, pure and simple. So, to hear Xabi Alonso acknowledge his multifaceted threat, emphasizing his defensive contributions as much as his attacking prowess, just goes to show how crucial Raphinha is to our system. It's a testament to his development and his commitment to the team. He's not just a winger, he's a complete footballer, a true cooler warrior who embodies the spirit of our club. When an opposition manager identifies your player, not just for flashy skills, but for his all-round contribution and work ethic, you know you've got a gem on your hands. And Raphinha proved Alonso right, didn't he? Absolutely brilliant. Now, let's dive into another crucial off-field development, something that really signals our intentions for the future: Deco's meeting with Marcus Rashford's agent in Jeddah. Sport broke the news that this informal, yet highly significant, meeting took place at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, right where our team was residing for the Super Cup. The topic? Rashford's purchase clause. As Culers, we've seen Rashford's incredible contributions since his arrival on loan, and the club is clearly more than pleased with his attitude, his integration into the squad, and, of course, his performances. We are seriously considering triggering that €30 million purchase clause at the end of the season, and this meeting was primarily to inform his entourage of the club's positive stance. This is fantastic news. Rashford has been an absolute revelation. He's adapted brilliantly to life in Spain, seamlessly mingling with both the English-speaking and non-English-speaking players in the dressing room, showing immense professionalism by always putting the team's interests above his own. Since joining us, the former Manchester United star has racked up an impressive 9 goals and 7 assists, numbers that simply cannot be ignored. What's more, he's gladly accepted a bench role after Raphinha's return, always ready to take his chances when they come, showcasing a brilliant team-first mentality. While the final decision won't be made until the end of the season, all signs point towards Rashford having a long-term future at our club. The only lingering argument against his continuity has been his adaptation to our demanding pressing structure and link-up play. However, he's shown glimpses of improvement in these areas. If he can continue to refine these aspects of his game, signing him permanently would be an absolute no-brainer, both from a sporting and economic perspective. €30 million for a player of his caliber, with his output and professionalism, is a fantastic deal in today's market. Deco is clearly doing stellar work behind the scenes, ensuring we secure top talent for the future, and Rashford seems destined to be a permanent cooler. What a prospect! Before the Super Cup final became a glorious memory, the tactical battle was being laid out, and Hansi Flick and his team had to get 3 key things right to beat Real Madrid. El Clasico finals are never just about form, it's the small details, tactical discipline, and ruthless execution that define these moments. And Barça Universal highlighted these crucial points, which proved to be incredibly insightful. Firstly, we absolutely had to attack the flanks. This was one of our biggest opportunities because Real Madrid was expected to start without a natural right back, forcing Federico Valverde into that role. While Valverde's work rate is elite, defending the touchline isn't his natural game. He drifts inside, pushes forward, leaving space. Our direct wingers, Marcus Rashford and Raphinha, had to use their pace to attack Valverde 1v1, with Raphinha making those diagonal runs into the box. These movements stretched their backline, forcing midfielders to drop deeper. On the other flank, with Madrid's injury problems, Alvaro Carreras might have been used as a makeshift centre-back, limiting his ability to defend wide spaces, giving Lamine Yamal a clear advantage. To make this work, we needed smart possession and quick switches of play to move Madrid's defence side to side. Pedri and Fermin Lopez linking midfield and attack, with Balde's overlaps, would drag Valverde out of position. If we controlled these wide zones, Madrid would struggle to stay compact. Secondly, a balanced defensive approach was paramount. Our high defensive line has been a double-edged sword. We famously caught Madrid offside repeatedly in an earlier Clásico, but since Inigo Martinez's departure, teams have learned to exploit those spaces with quick vertical passes. Flick's system helps us commit players forward, but it leaves us vulnerable in transition against Madrid's pace. We needed more balance. One centre-back had to be ready to drop early and cover depth, preventing Madrid from attacking open space directly. Aggressive counter-pressing was still vital to force them wide, but the key was timing, knowing when to spring the offside trap, not relying on it for 90 minutes. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, we needed to convert our chances effectively. Our biggest problem this season hasn't been chance creation, but finishing. We've dominated shots and possession in many games but failed to kill them off early. Against Real Madrid, that margin for error simply doesn't exist. Robert Lewandowski, Raphinha, Ferran Torres, Rashford, and Lamine Yamal all needed to be clinical in the box, choosing the simple finish over the spectacular. And in the end, Raphinha's clinical brace and Lewandowski's decisive strike proved that we learned from these lessons and executed when it mattered most. What a tactical masterclass by Hansi Flick and our boys. Phew. What an episode, Culers. We've covered everything from that glorious Super Cup victory, still fresh in our minds, to the strategic genius of Deco in the transfer market, scouting future talents like Daniel Banjaqui, and making smart, calculated bets on players like Rooney Bargi. We delved into the tactical brilliance that saw us overcome Real Madrid, the pre-match psychological games, and the exciting prospect of Marcus Rashford making his stay a permanent one. It's clear that FC Barcelona isn't just a club, it's a living, breathing entity constantly striving for excellence, nurturing talent from La Masia, and making shrewd decisions to ensure long-term success. The energy and direction under Hansi Flick are palpable, and as a die-hard cooler, I'm absolutely buzzing for what the future holds. Remember, every goal, every victory, every strategic move, and every young talent coming through is a testament to the enduring spirit of our club. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of FC Barcelona. Let me know in the comments which news item got you most excited, or who you think was our standout player against Real Madrid. Your passion is what makes this community incredible. Until next time, keep the Blaugrana flag flying high, and as always, Visca el Barça and Visca Catalunya. See you in the next one, Culers.